4 communication hacks. How to talk to family about your cancer. Have you ever sat across from a loved one, your heart pounding, trying to find the words to say, "I have cancer," only to freeze? Maybe you've rehearsed it a dozen times in your head, but when the moment comes, it feels like your voice is stuck in quicksand. You're not alone, my friend. Talking about cancer with family can feel like standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure if your words will build a bridge or widen the gap. But here's what I've learned, both from my own journey and from walking alongside others. These conversations don't have to be perfect. They just need to be real. Today, we're going to talk about 4 communication hacks to help you share your diagnosis with kindness, clarity, and courage, even when your hands are shaking. Let's start with hack number 1. Choose your moment, not theirs. Now, I know what you're thinking, but when is the right time to drop news like this? Truthfully, there's no perfect moment. But there are better moments. Think of it like planting a seed. You wouldn't toss it onto concrete and hope it grows. You'd wait for soft soil. For example, my friend Carl wanted to tell his grandkids about his lymphoma. He tried bringing it up during a chaotic family barbecue, but the kids were distracted by the pool and popsicles. Later, he invited them to his porch at sunset, just the 3 of them rocking in his old swing. "Grandpa has something important to share," he said. The quiet, familiar setting helped them absorb the news without panic. So, ask yourself, when does your family feel most relaxed? After Sunday dinner? During a morning coffee? Avoid high-stress times like rushed mornings or right before a big event. And if you're unsure, say, "I need to talk about something important." When's a good time for you? This gives them, and you, time to prepare. Now, let's talk about hack number 2. Be honest, but gentle. Many of us grew up believing we have to protect our families by sugarcoating things. But here's the thing. Silence often breeds more fear than truth. The key is to balance honesty with compassion. Start with a soft opener. Try something like, "I have some news about my health. It's not easy to say, but I want you to hear it from me." Pause. Let them breathe. Then share the basics. "The doctors found cancer, and I'm starting treatment soon. I'm scared, but I'm also hopeful." Notice how that last sentence does 2 things. It names the emotion, "I'm scared," and offers a thread of hope, "but I'm hopeful." My neighbor Esther used this approach with her daughter. "I didn't want to lie and say, 'Everything's fine,'" she told me, "but I also didn't want to leave her feeling helpless." That little, but, gave us both something to hold on to. And here's a tip. If tears come, let them. You don't have to apologize for crying. Tears aren't weakness, they're proof you care deeply. One viewer, Margaret, wrote that her grandson hugged her and said, "It's okay, Grandma. We can be scared together." Those tears, they became a bridge. But what if your family reacts with anger, denial, or a flurry of questions you can't answer yet? That's where hack number 3, set boundaries with love, comes in. For now, practice these first 2 steps, choosing your moment and balancing honesty with gentleness. Remember, my friend, this isn't about having all the answers. It's about opening the door, one careful, courageous step at a time. And every time you do, you're teaching your family how to walk this path with you, not around you. Last week, I received a message from a viewer named Henry. He wrote, "I told my son about my diagnosis, and now he calls me 5 times a day asking for updates. I love him, but I'm exhausted. How do I say stop without hurting his heart?" Henry, I feel you. When we share news this heavy, our loved ones often react in ways we don't expect, hovering, avoiding, or even taking over decisions we're not ready to make. That's why today, we're diving into hack number 3, set boundaries with love. Because here's the truth. You don't have to sacrifice your peace to protect someone else's feelings. Let me share a story. My friend Gloria was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. Her sister, Linda, immediately started researching every clinical trial, sending her articles at 3 a.m., and insisting on attending every doctor's appointment. Gloria felt suffocated but didn't want to seem ungrateful. Finally, she sat Linda down and said, "I love how much you care. But right now, what I need most is for you to hold my hand, not my medical chart." That simple phrase changed everything. Linda realized her efforts were adding stress, not easing it. She started bringing Gloria's favorite soups instead of research papers and watching old movies with her during chemo. So how do you set boundaries without guilt? Start with I statements. Instead of "you're overwhelming me," try "I feel loved when you check in, but I need some quiet time to rest. Could we talk once a day instead of 5? Or, I appreciate your advice, but I need to process this my way. Can we focus on specific support instead?" This isn't about pushing people away. It's about guiding them to help in ways that truly nourish you. And if they react with hurt, give them time. Love often stumbles before it finds its footing. Now, let's talk about hack number 4. Invite collaboration, not control. After a diagnosis, well-meaning family members might try to fix things, schedule all your appointments, overhaul your diet, or even dismiss your treatment choices. But this is your journey. You get to decide who sits in the driver's seat and who rides shotgun. Here's how to shift the dynamic. Ask for their input, not their instructions. For example, if your daughter insists you try a new treatment, say, "I value your research. Let's write down these options and discuss them with my doctor together." This isn't just a distraction, it's a way to tether yourself to the present. Clara called it her waiting room survival kit. "It's like hitting pause on the panic," she said. "Even for 30 seconds, I remember I'm still here, not lost in my fears." And here's the best part. No one will know you're doing it. You can play this game silently, staring at the floor tiles or the receptionist's desk. It's your secret weapon against the waiting room blues. Now, maybe you're thinking, but what if I'm too overwhelmed to focus? That's where practice 6, the pause button, comes in. I'll admit, this one's my favorite because it takes 3 seconds. Here's how it works. Whenever you feel anxiety rising, maybe during a needle poke or a tense conversation, press your thumb and index finger together lightly. As you do, take one deep breath and say to yourself, "This moment is just a moment. It will pass." Simple, right? But that tiny gesture creates a physical anchor. Over time, your body learns, when I feel this pressure, I breathe. I pause. I survive. A viewer named Phil shared that he uses this during MRI scans. "I focus on that finger squeeze instead of the noise," he wrote. "It's like giving myself a pep talk with my hands." These practices, mindful chores, waiting room grounding, and the pause button, are like tools in a toolbox. You don't need to use them all at once. Pick one that fits your day. Some days, it might be the 5-4-3-2-1 game. Other days, it might be savoring the smell of your morning toast. And if you miss a day, that's okay. Mindfulness isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself, for this moment, with whatever energy you have. In our final chat, we'll explore how to turn ordinary moments into tiny sanctuaries of calm, even when your energy is running low. But until then, I'll leave you with this. You are so much more than your diagnosis. You're a gardener of peace, planting seeds of calm in the cracks of your day. And those seeds, they're already starting to grow. A few nights ago, I sat on my porch watching the sunset, those last streaks of pink and orange fading into twilight. And I thought about how endings can be just as beautiful as beginnings. That's what we're here to talk about today. Practice 7, Evening Reflection. But before we dive in, I want to share a story from a viewer named Harold. Harold wrote to me last week and said, "By the time evening rolls around, I'm so tired from treatment that I just want to turn off my brain. But then the worries creep in, and I lie awake for hours." Sound familiar? That's why this final practice isn't about doing more. It's about being right here, right now, as the day winds down. Let's try this together. Tonight, before you climb into bed, take 2 minutes to sit quietly in your favorite chair, on the edge of your mattress, anywhere that feels comfortable. Close your eyes if you'd like, and ask yourself, what's one moment today that felt peaceful? Maybe it was the first sip of warm broth at lunch. Maybe it was the sound of rain against the window. Harold started doing this after his radiation sessions. At first, he could only recall the pain or fatigue. But one evening, he remembered a nurse's joke that made him chuckle. "It was just a silly pun about hospital socks," he wrote. "But for a split second, I forgot to be afraid." That's the magic of evening reflection. It's not about ignoring the hard parts of the day. It's about making room for the soft ones, too. Now, let's tie all 7 practices together not as a checklist, but as a gentle rhythm for your days. Morning breathing to greet the sunrise. Gratitude journaling to spot those flickers of light. Mindful walking, even if it's just to the kitchen and back. Mindful chores, turning the ordinary into something sacred. Waiting room grounding when the walls feel too close. The pause button to breathe through life's sharp edges. And finally, evening reflection to close the day with kindness. But here's what I want you to remember. These aren't rules. They're invitations. Some days, you might only manage a single deep breath before treatment. Other days, you'll journal 3 pages and walk a whole lap around the garden. And all of that is okay. My friend Louise, who's been in remission for 5 years now, put it perfectly. Mindfulness isn't something you succeed or fail at. It's like tending a garden. Some days you water the plants. Some days you just admire the weeds and say, "You're persistent, aren't you?" So if anxiety tries to whisper that you're not doing enough, thank it for sharing, and then go back to your breath. Back to the sound of the wind chimes. Back to the warmth of the mug in your hands. You're exactly where you need to be. Before we say goodbye, I'd love to hear your story. In the comments below, tell me, which of these practices felt like a friend to you? Was it the 5-4-3-2-1 game in the waiting room? Or maybe that quiet moment of evening reflection? Your words might be the lifeline someone else needs today. And if this series brought you even a sliver of peace, consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to keep walking this path with you, one mindful step at a time. Thank you for trusting me with your time, your fears, and your hope. Remember, my friend, however dark the night feels, the stars still shine. And so do you.